It is another beautiful day in West Central Wisconsin, and welcome to episode 110 of Banging on the Drum. Please remember to like, subscribe, download, share, do whatever you can, and we will appreciate it. Mike usually chimes in there. I was waiting for it.
Steal somebody's device. That's the advice. Steal devices, download it on theirs, just so they
Yep,
can have the pleasure of listening to us just on accident whenever they plug their phone into something.
just do it. Do it. Um, but yes, as always, I am your host, P-Dawg, joined alongside my co-host, M-Dawg. And M-Dawg, how are you doing today?
I'm doing real well. So today is the kickoff of what I call Wood Turtle Days, but some people now call Wilton Fest because Wood Turtle Days has been banned and outlawed in Wilton. Can't call Wilton Wood Turtle Days anymore.
What the
For the last
what?
couple years. I think we've gone over this on the podcast, maybe
Nope,
more than we probably should. But
nope,
it's the
we
kickoff
haven't.
tonight. So we had a campfire, some s'mores, and watched the fireworks. Uh, my youngest son was kind of funny. He watches the fireworks for like 5 minutes, and then he's like, "I'm trying to take a nap, and the fireworks keep waking me up." And he went inside and went to bed. Like 5 minutes into the fire, he made it to the fireworks and wasn't entertained enough to stay up for the next 10 minutes of the fireworks.
That little shit. So no,
No, it's just kind of funny.
I'm curious. So why can't they call them Wood Turtle Days again?
So basically, there was a falling out in the Wilton Village Hall, and Wood Turtle Days is owned by the Wood Turtle Committee, not by the village, which was pretty stupid of the village to allow that to kind of happen. But that's the way it was, and so the village and this committee fell out, right? Like, so this one lady that was on the committee stopped working for the village, did no longer like the village, and then said you can no longer use this name too because they owned the name of the days,
Yeah, that sounds kind of.
and it held
Well,
up in court, I guess. So
I'm gonna take my ball and go
yeah,
home.
that's basically exactly what happened.
Well, if you vote Mike in for mayor, he will make Wilton great again. Get the Wood Turtle Days
So I think
back.
Wood Turtle Days will be coming back. So the reason that there was a lot of the fallout was one person that was working at the village. She is now gone, and so it could pretty easily come back, I think, next year.
Okay, good, good. Because yeah, I've never been, but I've always heard good things, and I've only ever heard good things from you. But you love
Yeah,
it.
I love the Wood Turtle Days. It gives me an opportunity to run into all the people that you grew up with, right? So we're all, I shouldn't say all the people, but the vast majority. Like, I would say I probably run into like 50 people from like when I was in high school.
Yeah, and that's like 50% of the city that you live in.
That's 50% of the whole high school for that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, no, that is pretty cool. I haven't been to Butterfest, well, Sparta, I guess. Everybody knows that listens to this, but their
Yeah.
local festival for a while. But yeah, I do remember enjoying that. I didn't enjoy getting so drunk and then talking to people I did know and then not remembering what I said to the people I did know, even
Yeah.
though it's
So that isn't
usually
that
not
one of
that
the
bad.
worst things about getting drunk? Like, what did I actually say to these people? Like, I don't think I have things that are like super far out there for like ideas or anything, but I don't like the idea of not knowing what I'm talking, like what I said to someone.
Yeah, I hate that. And my thing, which we've also probably went over on the podcast before, is like always like too nice. It's like that's the only thing. But so
That
I
you're
don't,
too nice to people.
yeah, but I guess I do have a little bit of a dickhead in me. So maybe sometimes I'm more of a dick than I think I am. Like just pointing out things that I think might be funny, but like,
Oh yeah, see, that's what I'm always afraid that I did is that said something that I think is funny, right? And other people do not catch, or like it offends them, and I would never really understand that it did.
mhm,
Where if I'm sober, I think I can read that situation a lot better.
for sure. Yeah, and I can't remember when it's happened to me or what I actually did, but I remember thinking like, oh yeah, that could have been like perceived kind of like
Yeah,
dickish. So yeah, I'm not always too nice, but usually it's like very complimenty and like, oh, like you were cool. Like I thought you were super cool. I don't know.
yeah. So what you do get very like you compliment me anyways a lot when you're drunk, a
Yeah,
lot.
I'm a lover most of the time when I'm drunk.
Yeah, yeah.
99%.
You say things that make me uncomfortable. But any compliment I get pretty much makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's funny. All right, get into your unders, get into your overs, and let's get this show on the road. We're recording late tonight with very little preparation, so we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes.
Today I sit in my office. One of my groups gets canceled, right? So nobody wants to participate in this group that I'm running on the unit. So I have an extra hour in the morning to basically do whatever. So I'm going to get my notes done right away in the morning. 8
Was
o'clock.
it the hopscotch group?
No, this is a memory book group. So it's like a
Okay.
scrapbook group, and it's a nursing. Like I work in the nursing home unit of the facility, and so we're going to create like if a guy would leave our care and go into somebody else's care, like this book would help them like transition into the community. But none of these guys want to do it. They don't give a fuck, right? And like the one guy that should, he's like probably in his mid 50s, right? He's like, nah, I ain't doing this shit. Like, not today. I'd rather sit out here with like and do nothing, like stare at watch diners, drive-ins, and dives for the 98th time, right? Same fucking episode every fucking day.
That's fair. Good show.
That he watches it almost every day, and like for like 6 hours every day, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I do all my notes. Like we have these notes from Saturday when I work that weren't done yet, and they got to be done by Monday. So like this is my last day working. I want to make sure they're done. So I do them all. And the lady had told me I'm going to do the note. I'll do the notes because you did all like the sign up stuff, the prep work, you officiated the matches. Like I was just kind of a tag along, so I'll do the notes. I was like, yeah, that's fine. So if it's Friday, they're not done, and so I just do them. But I'm not thinking like, oh, it's because she's being lazy and she's not doing them. Like most of us just do notes on Fridays. But I have this extra hour, so I'm going to finish all of my notes. I'm going to do everything right. And so I do all the notes, and then she calls me up and she's like, you made me feel like shitty because you did the notes when I thought I was just trying to help. And so I don't know what to do with the human like that. That like if I do the work, then they feel bad. Like I'm not sure.
I get the feeling as well. Like, did she still have time to do the work?
Yeah, she would have had all day. So it was 8 o'clock in the morning.
Mm. Yeah, no, I think if I was in your situation, I would just like apologize. And
I did. I said that's not what I was trying to do. I was just trying to like get them done because I have this extra hour and that I'm doing. Like I'm just doing nothing. I could be sitting out in the day room watching diners, drive-ins, dives. Like my group got canceled. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you were trying to do her a favor, so I guess.
And I don't know that it's like necessarily a favor. I just thought like this is my group. It's not like I'm writing notes that weren't mine. Like they're both of our notes, right? And so, but I just thought it was like then I was like, well, goddamn it, I can't like do anything fucking right, you know. And so made me a little like whatever. Just next time I just won't fucking do it. Got me all in the business.
Yeah, you sound like you got hurt by that situation as well.
Yeah, must have a little bit if I brought it up, right?
Yep.
All right, and so for my over, this is another work thing. So we have an 8-hour Zoom meeting, and so it starts at 9 o'clock. And Jesus Christ, Michael, it starts at 9 o'clock, and we're talking with my hands, smacking my mic around. 8-hour Zoom meeting, training, right? So I'm thinking it's gonna run all day, 9 to like 5-ish. So it's in my calendar from 9 to 4:30. I'm told before I leave, it's an 8-hour day. I can do it from home, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll do this training from home. So I sit down at 9. 11 o'clock rolls around, and they're like, all right, we're gonna take a 1 hour and 15-minute lunch break. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty typical of any training. They give us an hour instead of a half hour, right? Like they give us just little things like that. And so I'm like, all right, awesome. We got a little extra lunch. And then we'll come back, and from like 12:15 to 4:30, we'll be in this training the whole rest of the day. That's my expectation. Or maybe they cut us out at 4, right? Because it's training. Training is a little bit different. 1:30 rolls around, the guy's like, all right, we're done. And that so I work for the state, and they never give you time, right? Because if they give you time, they have to give everyone in the fucking state system the same time, right? Everything's got to be 100% equal except for fucking pay, right? Like they can't do anything that's weird unless it's fucking pay. Then they do like wonky shit where guys have been there for 35 years and they get paid less than I do who's been there 5 years, right? So they do shit like that. But like when it comes to time, they never just give you free time. And I got like a free 3 hours from 1:30 to probably like 5.
What a day. What a treat.
And I did make good on my time. So the 1 hour lunch break, I took the kids to the pool during the lunch break for like an hour.
Dang.
And then
you're winning dad of the year too. Jeez.
Yep. And then like 1:30, I took a nap. So right when we got done, I was like, I'm tired. I want to take a nap. Like took a nap probably for another like 45 minutes, took kids back to the pool. We were at the pool a lot that day. It was a hot one. And so we were there for like 5 hours total that day. It was long.
Nice. You little pool rats. Well, yeah, that sounds like a good over there. Am I rolling now?
Rolling? Sorry. How did your week go, Pat?
There you go, Mike. Thank you for asking. I thought you never would. So my week was great. I do not have much to complain about. So I'm going to run through my overs and unders like bullet points almost. And then I'm going to elaborate on it. It'd be long and do stuff like this. So anyways, first under, I think I'm brainwashed by my love of Aaron Rodgers. And I don't think it's good because, I mean, he did the interview during the game last night, kind of comparing Garrett Wilson to Davante Adams, but I just like the way he articulated it, gave Davante Adams all this credit, the way he talked in it. But I guess I didn't know exactly where I'm going with this, but I think I don't think there's any turning. But everyone that's listened to this for, I don't know, however long, probably has heard me not defend Brett Favre, but be hurt by what Brett Favre did. So Aaron Rodgers is there for me. I don't think he's going to go down the same path or anything, but even him taking that pay cut or whatever he did for, I mean, he's still making an ass load of money.
Well, not this year. This year, I think he's making like $1 million.
I think there was the signing bonus though. I don't know. We didn't do a lot of research, but I'm pretty sure he got like a signing bonus and then didn't get paid too much. Honestly, it looks to me like they're freeing up money for a big trade deadline thing or something to get that last weapon on the team when they need it. Do you know if Dalvin Cook ended up signing?
He did not sign there currently as of Thursday. I was listening to McAfee and they did not on Thursday. So
okay, but yeah,
I didn't see anything today.
Love him too much, so that's an under because
Packers. So you were this guy with Brett Favre, especially up until like 2020 or whatever when all this bullshit came out. You were the same dude with Brett Favre, right?
Oh, yeah.
When Brett Favre transitioned away from the Packers, you were probably like a borderline Jets fan,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, no, I'm not proud. I'm not there with Aaron Rodgers, like just because I think I've seen what Brett Favre went to do and then go to the Vikings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when Brett Favre went to the Vikings, he was dead to me for a couple years. But then once he retired, I was like, thank God I can enjoy him. But even when he was on the Vikings and like ripping it up like the year he had, probably his best season ever. Like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't cheering for the Vikings or anything. Couldn't do that. Yuck. But
Yuck.
but I was always like very impressed. Like I think he had like some sick ass touchdowns to Sidney Rice against the 49ers in the back of the end zone. And like I feel like everybody was like, oh, he's washed up. And I was like, no, he's gonna do it, man. He's magical. And whatever. But
so I think that I didn't care if he won when he was with the Jets. I think I did care if he won with the Vikings. Like that, those years bothered me pretty good, if I remember correctly. Right, that it was like an issue for me.
Yeah, I definitely got to the point where I was like, I don't care if he misses the game because he's hurt. Like, I was like, I don't give a shit about that streak anymore. Like,
okay, yeah, and so like, but I think I have pretty similar mentality with Rodgers, and I can't remember my entire mentality with Favre because I believe he made the wrong move, right? Whether he was being forced to retire at that point, whether he retired, which I think is not accurate. Like,
no, they're in the
like
NFC Championship the year before.
Yeah, people say things like that like the Packers were forcing him out. And I think maybe he even said that. I don't know if that's accurate, right? So they weren't doing what he wanted them to do, but I don't think that they were forcing him out either.
Yeah.
Like, and so he retires basically like they announce it. The initial announcement comes like 2 days after Randy Moss signs with the Patriots again. Right. And so like at that point, I'm like, oh, you're being like petty about it. So I never felt like I was like on the Favre train because I said he retired. Like you can't retire and then say in September, oh, like or in late August, oh, I want to play football again. Let's do it now. So I felt like there was a pretty clean line there. This feels like a much less clean line to me. I don't think I care if Rodgers wins, but I don't care if he loses either.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at with it.
I'd be fine if they win the Super Bowl. I'd be probably fine with like what happened.
Yeah,
as long as they're not playing the Packers to win that Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be. Same. Like it's not going to be like my second team in the race. Like maybe I'll feel it a little bit more like in the playoffs. Like say if the Packers season doesn't go well, like maybe just to have a horse in the race and have some fun watching the playoffs. I might saddle up, but I can't see that happening right now. Actually, I already can't see that happening, but I don't know. I feel like I'm spending too much time on it, but I just enjoy him as a person. So, and I know lots of people don't feel the same way about that.
No, everybody thinks he's like a piece of shit, kind of. I think like a petty piece of shit.
Yeah,
is the way I think most people look at him. I think especially after the signing with the really low salary piece of it, which it doesn't feel like he ever really did with the Packers. Now the Packers are never going to put like 6 years out on him for that stuff either, unless it's like a full contract. They wouldn't want that much money spread out like that, I don't think. And so, do I think Rodgers is petty? 100%. Do I think that if someone wronged me from work, that I might try to do the exact same things? I would do the things in my power to like make it hurt. I probably would. Maybe I'm just the same pettiness as him.
Yeah, no, and he's definitely. I do think it's a petty move, and we'll get into some like NFL news where I do think some like petty shit's happening, but whatever. We'll get into that when we're running with the pack. But then my other under, missing one of my best buddies' bachelor parties. I've missed so many bachelor parties. I've missed more bachelor parties than I've made at this point in my life. I made yours. I made K9 Kyle's. I think that's it. And then obviously mine. But yeah, I've only been to 3 bachelor parties and one of them was mine. So that kind of sucks. And when I say kind of sucks, it really sucks. Because they were just hanging out last night doing like stupid shit. Like the bachelor party haven't even started. And they're just like ranking the funniest movies of all time. And I was like, that was probably so much fucking fun. And I missed it. Like just shit like that. I missed that so much. Is just hanging out with the dudes. And I mean, you came to my bachelor party. That's all we did was just like
like sitting bullshit, right?
Yeah, kind of like just roll back the clock, like where nobody had responsibilities, whatever. If this guy wanted to start drinking at 6 a.m, he could start drinking at 6 a.m.
And honestly, I think we were having. I mean, John was making bloodies pretty early the next day. People were cracking beers right off the jump.
Yeah, just
not me. I was puking, but that's not the point.
Yeah, just a no responsibilityness to it, and then just like the dumb shit you get up to, like when you just hang with your boys, like naming random baseball players from the past, or like shit like that just goes on. So so that was a bummer, but I will get to my overs. So my over bullet point form, my cat, the real MVP in my house. So this happened like right before we started recording. Seen a cockroach in my room. We live by the water, so I think it's kind of normal. I don't think it's too gross. But in the room where I record, I was like, oh, there's a fucking cockroach. Like, I'm gonna have to go kill it. Come back in the damn room, thing's dead as shit. And my cat's just like hitting it. And I was like, you are the fucking best. So cat, is an over. My little dog right here.
Good work, Whiskers.
Yeah. Yep. Good work, Sage Marie. And then my other over, going to the Shuckers game. Hopefully get to see Jackson Chiro for sure this time. If not, I'm going on Sunday as well. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm definitely going to get to see him unless he gets called up to AAA, which I don't know. It feels like it could happen, but I don't know enough about like the Nashville. I don't even know their name for sure. Nashville Sound, I think, but
yeah, the Sounds, right?
Yeah, but if he gets called up, that's gonna be a bummer for me. But I don't think he will that quick. So get to see Jackson Chero this weekend, and then we have a potential special guest that we get to tease for next week. So it'll be our Brewers dude. Looking forward to that, and stay tuned because you're gonna love it. Yeah, and then Mike copy and paste some stuff from last week, but I'll warn you again, Paula, this is probably the point where you can stop listening because we're going to start barking about the Brewers. So I think I am going to get my game count in. I think I wanted to watch 50 games this year, and I've been able to watch quite a few of these games over the last week. I think when we left you guys last week, that we just got done getting our shit pushed in by the Braves.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then my dumbass had to say, hey, we got a pretty light schedule. We got Washington, then we got Pittsburgh, then we got Colorado, then we got the White Sox, and then shit gets hard. But let's talk about the Washington series real quick. So lose the first game. I'm running off memory right now. But I think we got pretty much beat front to back. Big home run late to give us 3 runs. Lose that game 5-3. Next game we ended up winning. Peralta pitches a pretty good game. And then the last game was just like an embarrassing loss. So
I don't think so. Like we're up what 2-1, 2-0.
We're up 2-1 going to the 9th inning. We put in the airbender. I think he walks the bases loaded, maybe. So
something like that.
But whatever. He's been electric out of the gate, and we've been having to use the shit out of him because every game we're winning, pretty much aside from the Pittsburgh game that happened last night, which will be 2 nights from the day that this is released. So Thursday. So the Thursday game. But yeah, then what is it? It's a tapper to Monasterio at third. Monasterio makes a throwing error home, and 2-run score on the throwing error. So
and the Brewers lose.
Yes, 3-2 walk-off error in Washington. So we're losing games that we can't really afford to lose. Like this stretch, so that one we're gonna drop games in these. Like I said, Washington, Pittsburgh, Colorado, White Sox. Those are all series we need to win because after
you
that,
can drop games there. You need to win the series.
Yeah, and we lost the series on a throwing error from Monasterio, which whatever. I love Monasterio, so I'm not trying to shit on him too much, but it's just a rough way to lose a game, and like we're not getting any run production really in that series that we need. And then Pittsburgh comes to town, and we put up 14 runs on. So that was nice to see. Like when the team's in full swing, self relics, bopping dingers. Hits his second one of the year, 3-run shot to Rang. Man, when that dude hits a home run, it goes, dude. It like just moonshots. And all my coworkers that I'm trying to convert to Brewers fans get to hear my home run calls. I think I'm getting pretty fucking good at it. Like,
all right. So do you have like it's going, gone, like whatever?
Yeah, you got to feel it though. It's in the moment. You can't script it. So it's usually copy Bob Uecker for a little bit, and then you freestyle. It's get up, get out of here. That one's gone, gone. And then you just like, then you keep freestyling, and then you like, he hit the piss out of that ball. That ball is gonna be whatever. Usually I go better than that, but apparently not.
I thought that was good. And so, but like these people who don't really care about baseball or the Brewers have to hear you do this.
Yep, 100%. And then I blame them for getting too excited. I'm like, why did you guys get so excited for that one? So they probably love it. I just blame them for being too loud. Like, geez, quiet down over there. It's just the Brewers, man. And
do you have anybody that in your office that is like strictly opposed to your Brewers? Do you have a Cubs fan in the office?
So I'm actually going to the Shuckers game with a Cardinals fan. So
and this guy does not like the Brewers. Are you converting him?
No, he's not a convertible. He's a legitimate Cardinals fan. So him, but he's not in the office at the same time as me very often. Another guy I work with, big Brewers fan. I don't know how he finds his minor league stuff, but he might actually be good to get on the show sometime. He had his own podcast or has his own podcast, but he does minor league shit better than me. Like he'd be like, "Oh, do you see?" I don't know. He'll like name somebody, and I'm like, "No," because I don't know who that is. And
never heard of that guy. Yeah,
yeah. And he's like, "Oh, you haven't heard of him? He's like the 4th ranked prospect in the Brewers system. He bats from the left side of the plate. He throws right-handed and plays third base." And you're like,
so he's in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's deep in it. He's good at Twitter.
And how did he? So like these are mostly Florida guys, right? So how does he become a Brewers fan?
No, dude, it's military. They're up from all over. So he was born in Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. I thought you were in the like the Florida Air Guard.
Oh yeah, that could be confusion. I'm on active duty orders right now, so I'm like,
Oh, okay, I got you.
one
So
of
these
the
are
few.
active duty
Yeah.
airmen. Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
Yep, they are. But yeah, I know we've had a show pretty recently, and like I said, we didn't prep for this one, so I was running off memory there. But yeah, a series we lose to Washington that we can't really lose. We got 2 more games against Pittsburgh, then Colorado, then the Sox, then
We
the
got a 4
Dodgers.
gamer against Pittsburgh.
Yep. So,
Okay.
and we got Burns going tomorrow. Woodruff is back, so I guess that's big
Hopefully
news.
back, right? Like so that's
Nope,
just hopeful.
he's slotted to start Sunday. So
Woo!
Woodruff,
Football's back. Woodruff's back. Everybody's back.
Yep. And shit, I might not be going to the Shuckers game if Woodruff's pitching on Sunday, because
Maybe you can listen like one of those guys that is pretending to listen to the major league game when he's in the stadium, right? Maybe you can just listen to Euchre as you're watching the Shuckers game.
oh, that would be great. That would be like solidify me in that would move me from like a solid B Brewers fan is where I would say I'm at right
to
now.
at least an A minus.
Oh yeah, that would move me up like what would that be? 2/3 of grades? Yeah, 2/3.
But like you're going with people, which might be.
So I'm going with people Saturday. So I'm definitely not going to see Burns pitch because I'll probably be listening to the end of the game on the way back from the game with the Cardinals fan that I'm driving to the game. So I'm just going to stick it to him a little bit. Be like, listen to a good teams announcer this time. And yeah, I forgot. And so yeah, I really do want to see how Woodruff does. And it's like a 45-minute drive to the game, 45-minute drive back. I don't know if I have anybody to go with me on Sunday. So I might just swallow my loss if I don't get to see Jackson
that makes sense to me.
Yeah. So sit at home, watch the Brewers. But yeah, that's all I got about barking with the Brewers. If we did want to do like a quick recap rundown, who do you got in the World Series, Mike? Let's say
who am I taking in the World Series? Well, I'm going to take the Brewers in the National League, obviously. Now that I don't know, maybe they're not in the lead of the NL Central anymore. They were yesterday, but they lost tonight to Pittsburgh. So.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah, I didn't.
So they may not be. But anyway, I'm taking the Brewers. Should be a pretty like easy peasy to get in that. And then let's see, in the American League, I think I went early with the Rangers. Was on the Rangers like pretty heavy from the jump. I don't know if they're even close. I don't follow any kind of stats except for the Brewers. So I'm taking the Rangers.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a good pick. So the Rangers are absolute murderers. And so the Brewers are a half game up in the Central still. Reds have been struggling a little bit, but with your Rangers pick being solidified, I do want to highlight Adolis Garcia for the Rangers. Dude's got 28 bombs, hitting 266, 88 RBIs. And then let's give people 2 names to remember on the Rangers. Gosh, I can't find the guy's name that I want here.
Is it Bush?
No.
Matt Bush? Like that guy is apparently like kind of not a great human. I think he plays for the Rangers now.
I think it is Adolis. Yeah, no, it's Adolis Garcia. That guy's a monster. But yeah, they're Marcus Semien, their second base he's a stud.
They got Max Scherzer now.
Oh yeah, good call. So yeah, I do think
former lacrosse logger Max Scherzer.
Yep. So he's got some Wisconsin ties to him in that Northwoods League. But yeah, I think the Rangers are a good pick and the Brewers are a great pick. But man, oh my, I do not know how we're going to get by the Braves. I think our special guest next week will tell us if we have a chance. But like I was saying last week, which was kind of this week, I think we have Woodruff, Burns, Peralta, maybe Wade Miley, whoever we're going to put in the 4th spot right now. If we got our top 3 pitchers, we might have a puncher's shot in a series. But the Braves
need your bats to get
so damn.
You need your bats to get hot too.
We need Willie Adames to heat up. I think that's the main recipe. The boy I've been shitting on quite a bit has been Mr. Joey Weimer, and he's actually been heating up. So if we get into, I'm doing this just out of my personal
so Joey
curiosity.
Weimer for the first half's been hitting like a little wiener.
Yes, but in the last 7 games, dude's been hitting 318. He knocked a dinger, and yeah, so he hasn't been the problem. William Contreras is hitting good still. Yelich has been a stud. Willie Adames is really the guy where we need to pick it up because Monasterio's hitting for a good average for us. And yeah, the 2 guys that have been struggling the most were Terang and Weimer, who are hitting pretty close to the 200 line. which whatever. I think our worst people have to be hitting in the 230s if we want to compete with the breaks.
Yep, that's fair. They could hit over 300 too.
Yeah, on a good day. But let's get off this and let's start it with running with the pack.
All right, so running with the Packers. It sounds like the Packers offense won the day for the first time all camp. I feel like that's a pretty good sign. I do think that we are having like a transition in from being very, very positive about Love to not liking Love very much. So Rob Domofsky,
Yep,
Rob Domofsky, I believe, said, yep, old Bob said that he's had one really, really good day, like one or two okay days, and then every other day has been, it might be a really long season type of day. And then I saw that if Tim Boyle was still at Packer, there'd be a contingency of fans clamoring for him to be the starter. And so I think that there's like the narrative is turning on Love already, which I think is not great. Like I wish that he was just blowing people out of the water, but I haven't seen any real like tape or like things that like would signify yes or no, like this guy's going to be somewhere. He's probably going to get like 4 touches in the family night game. That is tomorrow night. I guess I'm jumping into 2 categories here, but
good.
Family night is a whiteout. It's at Lambeau. It's on August 5th. I can't go, like it's Wood Turtle Days. So that's like
way more important.
Way more important to be at Wood Turtle Days for sure. I think that the offense winning the day is good. Christian Watson and Alexander are kind of going at it, both kind of thinking they're the stud of the team. And so I like that too. I like the competitiveness between those two. I think that could probably breed something very, very unique in having like a corner that can shut down a guy who's 6'4" and can fly, and having a wide receiver that can separate from elite level corners.
No, I agree with you there. And I mean, it's just all talk until the season starts, because you'd be like, oh, Jordan Love's been sucking in practice, but that could be, oh, the Packers defense is fucking crushing it.
And I actually do believe that. I believe that the Packers defense is fucking good as hell. I really I think they are dynamite. And I honestly believe that they were dynamite last year, except for on third downs. Like they were crushing people, except third downs. Like on third down, we just seemingly played the stupidest football I've ever seen. Now, obviously, that guy probably has a little bit more knowledge about a defensive scheme and what you do in situations than I do, and so I'm going to default to that. I know that many people in this fandom fucking hate Joe Barry, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to just say, like, he actually has an understanding of what he's doing. He's a bend don't break type of guy, and like when it comes to, we looked it up today at work. When it comes to overall points that the Packers gave up versus all 3 other teams in the division, we beat everybody by 60 points. Right, that includes the Vikings, who were 14-3 or 13-4.
Was trash last year, though.
They're going to be. What did they do different? They're going to be fucking trash again, probably.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And so I don't know that I saw a huge like flashy signing or like big time rookie coming in, and I could be wrong. Like I don't pay attention to the Vikings. We might have to get the guys from Vikings Uncensored on here again, but no gambling on overall records. I don't need to be in a Viking shirt again.
No, we'll gamble again. We'll get them to gamble with us again. And
we'll just win this time. I got it.
Yep. All right, let's do something. Let's stick to something that we did last week and remember it again. So we are going to go with projected starters. We started with the offensive line and we graded them. So we remembered this on the fly. We graded our offensive line very well. So this is what I want to do. So we even got the backups in there. So today, unless you have objections, let's do the defensive line and linebackers.
And linebackers. Okay.
All right. So
let's start listing them all.
Starting at left end, Kenny Clark, stud.
Yeah. Love Kenny Clark.
So yeah, we got an A there. Starting at nose tackle, TJ Slayton. Can you tell me anything about him?
I can't. I think that's probably a like on our defensive line. That's a weak point, I think.
Yeah.
When it comes to our defensive line, you're going with the front 5, right?
From Florida. He's 25, 3 years of NFL experience. 21 is when he signed with Green Bay, and we're cranking up our name knowledge this year. So definitely have heard it, but
I've definitely heard it. Yep. And I think he's been a solid contributor. I just don't think that he's a game changer at that point in the defense.
Yeah, and in a league where like nose tackle is actually starting to get the name recognitions of like the Aaron Donalds and other guys along that line.
Is Donald a nose tackle, or is he more like a D end? Like,
I think he's kind of all over the place, but I do think he seems like he would be more of a 3-4 DN, but I do think he clogs up the middle there. Okay. But we'll go to right DN now. Devontae Wyatt. Also, to me, I would say what have you done for me lately? Like,
Yeah, he didn't do much last year. It does sound like he's having a good camp, but the things I heard about a good camp were with no pads on. So
yeah. So then we will go to left outside linebacker as of right now, and we have Preston Smith, and I will certify stud. Preston
stud.
Smith,
Yep.
certified stud.
I think that actually is like a team setter. Like he's a guy that you want all the dudes on your team to be.
Oh yeah, yep. So we are good there. So it looks like the left side of our defense. I will tell on myself, like I don't know like how much like people shift around and stuff because I
Oh yeah,
know
me neither.
back in the 4-3, I love the 3-4. When I first like discovered the 3-4, like playing like Madden back in the day, I was like, why would anybody run a 4-3 when you could disguise who your fourth rusher is every single time, let alone
That's a very astute thought. I mean, so I, like let's see, I was probably like, so I had Madden 95, so I was probably at least 11 when I got my first football game, right? And I definitely would not have thought in those lines.
oh
No
yeah.
way.
I was
Maybe by
playing
99 I might have, but like that's an astute thought to say you can disguise your fourth rusher. I never like that never crossed my brain.
oh yeah, dude. I was playing chess when other little cats were playing checkers. That's why
Yeah,
you've
I
never
buy
beat me in
that
a
on you.
football
Never,
game. Like, but
never even get close.
I do have one buddy that I'll give him credit. We'll call him by his name, Jared. I think he was our best Madden player. But with that being said, he liked to do stuff that worked every time that like
Oh
was
yeah,
in the
that was
game.
me.
So
oh, like the glitches in the game.
I don't know if he would quite be glitchy, but he would do some like dumb shit, like put his nose tackle at like a QB spy, and then he would, I don't know,
Okay,
just like
I got you.
weird
Things
stuff.
that just worked because they were different.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you definitely had to be on your toes. Like I think I'd still got him a couple times, but he was very, 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 very good. Like he would be like undefeated online versus, I don't know, like 50
Good
people.
players.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So but anyways, I'll quit bragging about my Madden skills. Just went with Preston Smith, certified stud. Quay Walker, I'm gonna say he's going to be certified stud level this year. I think Quay Walker might be the name on the Packers defense that when you think of the Packers defense, it might be Quay Walker this year.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so I like Quay Walker a lot. I think that he has been like productive as a rookie. Who's a very productive middle linebacker, I thought. And then on top of that, I think he's made some like efforts to be better controlled. Had some issues last year where you got kicked out of games because he was like a prick, I guess, for lack of a better term, but pushed the guy on the sideline, which I actually think the guy on the sideline should have got kicked out too in that game. I was pretty vocal about that you don't put your hands on an active player, you get out of the way. He got to push the guy that's on the sideline, and then he got kicked out of the game for that. But this guy doesn't even play, and he's putting his hands on a guy that's on the field. So I guess he's not technically on the field, right? But
yeah, he was definitely trying to. You just jogged my memory. He was definitely trying to do him a favor, but yeah, I mean,
I still think that like you don't touch that dude, right? Like, so you're on the other team sideline, like just leave the other player alone.
it seemed pretty. It was a pretty weak ejection as far as ejections go. Like he should have done it, but like,
Agreed.
yeah, throw like a.
And then the second one, I think I can't remember the exact scenario around the second one, but I think the second one, him and Wyatt might have like been pushing a guy that they shouldn't have been pushing around, right? Like way late. Some things popped off and he got tossed. And he can't have a reputation like that long term, or he'll get tossed every time something gets into a scuffle, right?
And who do you think like sets the tone on the defense right now? If you had to pick a player, is it well, we'll get to our next guy here who might be the dude that does it, but he's on the player unable to perform list, Rashawn Gary.
No, I actually think it's Preston Smith. I don't think it's Gary.
Okay.
And Gary's probably my favorite player on the defense. And I think he can be the most disruptive, especially to quarterbacks. Like I think Preston Smith is a good pass rusher. I think Rashawn Gary will develop into a great pass rusher, especially if he can get back and his knee can be okay. It's his knee, not his Achilles.
That
I think it was
a good
ACL.
question.
But it doesn't matter. Whatever injury it is, if he can get back from that, both would be devastating to have to deal with. And so if he can get back to that and play like he was last year, and maybe next year take one more step, I think that he's going to be like a force to be reckoned with in the NFL.
And I did skip right inside linebacker to ask that. So Devondre Campbell, I mean, he goes on my certified stud list, but I love
Devondre Campbell. I think that he plays a really, really good inside linebacker as well. I think in the Packers defense, and in what I would imagine is most defenses in the NFL, the inside linebacker is a scapegoat for all the fans who think they're in the know. And I think that's the way it's been for really a long time in the NFL. I think probably since like after AJ Hawk's like third year, like it's been like that. That inside linebackers, even though they're getting 110 tackles in a game or in a year, 110 tackles, that would be amazing. Everybody gets mad at them because they get the tackle 4 yards down the field or 5 yards down the field instead of at the line of scrimmage. Like that guy should be making the tackle at the line of scrimmage, but they're running sideline to sideline. I think both Quay Walker and Devondre Campbell do that really well. I think Devondre Campbell covers well. to add on to his stuff, I think that he plays the pass really well and probably got 1 or 2 picks in the last couple of years, which is pretty amazing, I think, for a middle linebacker. I mean, Brian Urlacher is probably the best at picking stuff off in the history of the NFL at middle linebacker. He's got to be right there. And I don't think that he's got a ton of interceptions.
Yeah. I'm trying to think because that is a pretty bold statement, but it makes sense that it would be Brian Urlacher being a safety in college and then,
Safety in college,
bigger,
I believe a punt returner in college. Like that guy was a unique human.
Yeah, started doing steroids, losing hair and gaining hair. And
we're not going to judge. We're not going to judge people for doing steroids. Like I think,
Mike, I'm judging him for being a bear. I'm not judging him for doing steroids.
Yeah, you can judge him for being a bear. That doesn't mean he was not good, right? Like,
no, he was great. He was great.
Yep. He's just not a Packer. If he's a Packer, he'd been fucking no doubt Hall of Famer. He had some doubts, I think, going into the Hall of Fame. If I wouldn't have had to use steroids, just been eating cheese.
Pretty sure he was a no doubt Hall of Famer.
I'm pretty sure too.
Even with that bear stink on him. So let's run through the
bear shit.
Let's run through the backups real quick. Actually, let's just hit. So
we got to hit one pretty heavy anyway.
Yeah. So Lucas Van Ness. Sounds like he's been getting the book thrown at him.
Yeah, and like I hope that he is what he was portrayed coming out, like this guy that's just a freak athlete, can really overpower people, super strong, right? And honestly, if you can have a third edge that does what they need to do, man, I'm excited for that, right? To spell one of these guys and still be able to get the quarterback.
Yeah,
or bring him in and do multiple things with him would also be very cool. Yeah,
and they have him slotted as the backup left outside linebacker, but I mean, just with his body type and what these 3-4 defenses and stuff have been, I think there's a lot of potential for him to be all over the place. It's not like he's like, strictly, if Preston Smith isn't on the field, Lucas Van Ness is. Maybe. Wyatt will have to step up his game. I mean, he's definitely lighting fires under guys' ass, and he's going to see plenty of time on the field this year.
Yeah.
To see what we got with him.
I would agree. I think that there's almost no doubt in my mind that they're going to have him on the field with the 2 other pass rushers at least a few times each game, maybe 3 plays a game. You're in a third down situation, you put him in instead of Wyatt or Clark. I mean, I don't think Clark's a good guy to pull out there. Maybe dump Clark down into the middle and move Van Ness over to the edge or something like that. But because I think Clark rushes the passer really well as well, which is sounded dumb in my head, so I didn't say it.
Really well as well. I like that better than 2. So
me too, but it felt stupid to say well and well in the same sentence.
You as well. Yep. All right. I think that will wrap up your dumb Packer fan talk of the defensive line and linebackers.
All right, Pat, are we being way too optimistic when we talk about the Packers still? Like that was all like, stud. But like when we're looking at our defense and our offensive line, I think that's that's really our bread and butter. I think if I go in next week when we go into corners or skill position on offense, I think I can be more critical.
Yeah, no, I do think we have covered the 2 best parts of our defense. And no, I don't even think that's yet. Like when we get into, no, because I think we'll do like secondary as a whole. And I think our secondary definitely has some holes. I do think we did our 2 best, like top to bottom things first. Our offensive line looks like they're going to be great. Our front 7, what is it? Front 7? Yeah, front 7 looks like it's going to be great. And
all right, so let's at least recap what we have for starters on our defensive line and in our linebackers. All right, defensive line, we have TJ Slayton at the nose, Kenny Clark at one defensive end, and Devontae Wyatt at the other defensive end. Then we have Preston Smith, Quay Walker, Devondre Campbell, and Rashawn Gary, with Van Ness probably starting in the first couple weeks because Rashawn Gary's still out on the pup list.
Yes, you nailed it. You didn't even write anything down. You just got it.
Yeah.
All right, I got optimism. You are our Packers expert, so I'm.
But so like this is not my strong suit. Is like knowing players, like having like 100% understanding of who's on the field at all times.
Yeah.
No. Right. But I do want to like be better with that. Right. I think like this is our starting guy. This is.
Yeah. No, and I think we're getting there. So we will be the go-to source for your Packers information this season. So
I mean, we always have happen. We've had the right predictions forever.
Yep. Super Bowl eventually. We're definitely gonna win another one. Guaranteed.
No doubt in my mind.
All right, let's go around the league real quick. So Mercedes Lewis signs with the punk ass Bears, and that doesn't feel personal to you, Mike?
So I don't. Do you think it's personal on Mercedes Lewis's part?
I think it's a good. I mean, when it's Mercedes Lewis, it's hard to say that it's personal because I do think teams sign him as an extra blocker for sure. Like he's still going to be great, but more as like a coach on the sideline.
So hold on a second. So is this just what the Vikings have done forever? And maybe the Bears too, right? Is it like the same thing? Like they've always done this shit. Oh, like the Packers got rid of a dude. Let's sign him. I feel like that has happened for the last 30 years fairly consistently.
And it has, and like it isn't dumb. I mean, it doesn't seem to
It
look
hasn't
like
panned out
people.
for them
Yeah,
currently. I mean,
yeah,
either team.
yeah. But I mean, if you really think about it, though, it's like Mercedes Lewis has like no regulation to like keep what he knows about the Packers playbook to himself when he goes into that situation. I mean, obviously, he can't. Maybe he could take last year's playbook with him. I would assume so.
I would assume that they collect those at the end of the year.
Probably. So maybe he's just got to take his.
But I mean, if they're on
Mine.
tablets, they can just fucking wipe them too.
Yeah. So I don't know like what the rules are of that, and I'm not trying
Me
to get
neither.
into like a deep conspiracy of that. But you bring a guy like that in, I think you're bringing him in more for his mind than anything else. And
I mean,
blocking.
So yeah, so I think that essentially what they're trying to be in Chicago, and I'm not saying either of these guys are bad and that their attitude towards it is bad necessarily. Maybe their attitude, but I think they're trying to become what the Ravens are. They want him to be almost predominantly a running quarterback with passing skills, right? So that's what Lamar Jackson is, predominantly running quarterback with good passing skills. And they're trying to develop Fields into that. I don't think that hurts to have a left tackle that like plays tight end.
Extra left. Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Right.
Like
and
that.
so
Extra left tackle.
And so like that makes good sense for him to sign there. Right. So the Ravens will never sign him because they won't use him because they have a tight end who's fucking awesome.
The
right?
best tight end in the league. Maybe. No, that's too bold, but he's damn good. Mark Andrews.
I mean, so when him and Jackson are cooking, he's right there in the top three, and those top three are interchangeable a lot.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so like, when they're cooking, he is really good.
Yeah, I thought going into last season, after seeing what Mark Andrews did 2 seasons ago, I was like, this guy's about to pass up the Kittle,
or Kelsey.
Yeah, but
right.
yeah.
And so, like, I get what the Bears are doing. So I assume that this is like not like let's get his mind, let's get the offense here. Maybe it is. Maybe like you cut him after week 1. Like they do that all the time with practice squad players, right? They bring them in like for the week, and then they get cut after like they give up some of their sources.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we'll see how that one goes. But
I don't think they're cutting Mercedes Lewis. I like Mercedes Lewis a lot. I think that he did a lot of good things for the Packers. In my mind, that dude's not a Packer, right? That dude's a Jaguar. He played for the Jaguars for like 10 fucking years. Like, I don't know. So so there's very, very few free agents where I see them as Packers, right? Like long-term Packers. Reggie White is one, right? That guy was a Green Bay Packer in my mind. Like, but that's because when I started watching the Packers, Reggie White was already there.
Yeah, I think if you win a Super Bowl with the team, like you're kind of a Packer.
And then my other one is Charles Woodson, where he kind of associates himself with the Raiders, but I associate Charles Woodson with the Packers, right? Like he is a Packer. Like in my mind, through and through, that man is a Packer.
And I'm curious if that's where stuff started going sour with Rodgers too. Is like, getting rid of a guy like Charles Woodson.
Yeah, I mean, so that was always part of it. Like it's always been a piece of it. It's like they never made the deal, right, to keep the veteran the year too long. They always got rid of him 1 year too early. Like I think Rodgers has said that's part of the issue.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like Jordy, they did the same thing.
Yeah, Jordy was definitely an issue.
Yep.
Yeah, where he kind of wanted guys to get paid out of like some respect, which I think follows into like my under is like how much I love Rodgers. Is like I take on players. I don't necessarily think of it as a business, even though I know it's a business. But like Rodgers is like a family member to me now. Like Brett Favre.
You care. Yep.
Yeah,
you care
like
about
more
what
about
to him.
Yeah, as a person in general, like going forward. But yeah, that's the Mercedes Lewis thing, man. Yeah, good for him if he's still getting paid to play football.
Right, and so
good on him.
Probably can contribute. Not going to contribute in a real way. I think they drafted a tight end. I think they have Cole Kmet there as well, who is supposed to be okay, right? And so
I feel like they cut a guy that was like Cole Kmet, and then they signed like the same dude. But I can't think of who it was, but I feel like it was a meme.
Yeah, probably. I mean, so Trubisky and Justin Fields right there. I'm just kidding. That's not the same thing, but
let me see.
So we can move on.
Yep, you're right. Cole Kmet, Robert Tanyan. Okay, there we go.
Shit, they went and got Tanyan too?
No, they had him for a while, so they've had time.
Well, he was on our team last year. I didn't realize that he signed with us.
Yeah. No, you're right. But yeah.
Okay.
See, I did, but I forgot. And now I remember. So yeah, they got 2 of our tight ends from last year.
I mean, good for them, I guess. Like, if those are the guys you're looking for, like, ex-Packers are the way to go. Like, if you want to be Green Bay South, fucking do it, man. We're proud of you. But I always feel like that's not your goal, right? Is to take what we feel is washed out and getting the 2 years that we have decided to let go from them, and then be back in the same position. Like, that's not what I want my team to be. Is to be the team that picks up the veteran that's got the one decent year left, not even a great year, just a decent year left before he falls off.
Yeah.
And the Packers
No.
never do that, really.
Yeah. No, I mean,
And they don't pay big money for him either. I don't know that they paid big money for Tanyan or um, Lewis, but
I
anyway,
highly doubt it.
moving on to more signings. Dalvin Cook's probably not going to sign with the Jets due to what they expect from him and what he expects from the organization. So Diana Rossini on the Pat McAfee show just said that they're kind of at odds, right? That the Jets see Brees Hall as the main back, and Dalvin Cook sees himself as the main back. And
Yeah, I
so
guess
those two things can't compete in the same space, I don't think. And so maybe Dalvin Cook does not sign with the Jets, even though that was really the indication that most of us had.
Yeah, the running back position has been kind of a head scratcher this whole offseason with not getting paid and stuff like that. But it does seem like they freed up money to bring Dalvin Cook so they could give him a fair deal. And if you didn't have to do as much and you could team up with a solid back, I just don't see the fault in that. That reminds me of a very like wide receiver-y issue, like I need to be the man type deal. Like where a running back, I feel like should be like, well, shit, I don't have to take all the hits, and then I can add some like extra dynamicness to this.
Yeah.
Like wanting to be like a bell cow like that is, I guess. I mean, I bet you most guys do want to be that, but it's just
Well,
not
so how do you ask for big money if you are just spelling a guy?
Yeah.
Right.
No,
So if you get a 1-year deal, how are you going back out and asking for big money from another organization in order to, if you can't say, you know, like I led this team in rushing, like this was me, I did this shit.
Yeah, I mean, you do what Reggie Bush did, but you do it better, or
Yeah.
shit like
And
that.
and like I would take Dalvin Cook as a Packer, right?
Oh, yeah.
I just said like you don't sign the guy with 1 year left, but I think Dalvin Cook's probably got real time left. And if they decided that they were going to just say, all right, it's Jones and Dalvin Cook, that's who's running on the offense, we're going to push Dylan back, I'd be pumped. Not that I think Dylan's bad. I just don't think that he's great. Like I think a lot of other people are way more sold on Dylan than I am. I'm hoping to get proven wrong this year, but I feel like everybody thinks Dylan runs hard because he's big, and I think people think he runs hard because he's big, and he doesn't run hard.
And he ran over a mascot one time, really hard.
Well, yeah, that's the hardest hit he gave the whole fucking football year.
Yeah, no, it would be. Yeah, I would take Dalvin Cook on the team in a heartbeat over AJ Dillon. I think would take me a little bit longer. I do think Dalvin Cook is a better back. I don't think it fits the system as well as like, hey, we got this power guy, we got this. But yeah, if AJ Dillon's running like he did at the beginning of the season, give me Dalvin Cook every single day.
And you're right. He did get a little bit better as it got colder, but like I was underwhelmed and the season as a whole from AJ Dillon.
No, I think that is a fair assessment. I think AJ Dillon would even tell you, like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe he'd just beat the fuck out of me because he can.
Yeah, just squish you up into a little ball.
Yeah. Oh, you think you're a big tough guy? No, I don't actually. I just don't think you're a big tough guy either. And then boom, dead.
Yep. Like you guys were both from Oklahoma, scrapping it out.
Yeah. All right. And so moving on to the actual game that included the Jets, we got the Browns beat the Jets. I think it was 21-16 in the Hall of Fame game.
But yeah, you're right.
Let's look at the real positives here. Football has returned. And I got a buddy at work that has this really great gambling strategy for all preseason games. You want to hear this gambling strategy?
Yes, I really do.
It paid off for him last night. He's just going to take, and especially in weeks 1 and 2, or maybe just 1 of the preseason, he's going to take all of the underdogs. So anybody who's plus money, he's going to take because nobody knows who's even playing for 1, and 2, like how these guys are going to perform. Nobody has any fucking clue. So he's just going to take all the plus money, and it'll probably pan out where he comes ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we can pay attention to that, see how it works out. I have no clue how that will hold up. It does not seem as genius as I thought you were going to make it sound, but it worked out apparently.
This one did.
What was the spread last?
It wasn't a spread, so it was straight up win. But whoever was plus money on the straight up win.
Wait.
So not against the spread. So they give him plus money and minus money based on who has. So whatever the spread was, if it was 3, let's just say the spread was 3 for this game, right? Which probably most preseason.
So he's betting money line everything.
Money, yeah, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
So it's money line. Just
you said it right.
To the dog. Money line to the dog. And so he didn't say you should do. I asked him if you should do it for each game. He's like, probably at least in week 1 when nobody really knows what's going on. And so like this is the new strategy here. And so I think you can probably get plus 300 before the season even starts. Like you're up 300 units, 3 units. How does that go? 3 units, I think.
No, I mean whatever a unit is to you. I think a unit is unique to a person.
Generally, a unit is 100, right? Is that what we were doing? Bing bong. A bing bong is 100. Nope.
Bing bongs.
You'll be up 300 bing bongs. That bing bong is 1 bing bong to $1.
No.
Yes.
A bing bong is the whatever.
We would bet 300 bing bongs or whatever, right? We'd come out with 325 bing bongs. I'm up 538 bing bongs based on the juice.
But it's not dollars. It's
bing bongs.
It's higher than the highest currency in the world at the time. A bing bong is the best
Is like
type of
crypto
currency.
kind of like a Bitcoin? It's
So like
1 cent higher than a Bitcoin.
say if like someone's denarii was worth more than the dollar, the bing bong would be worth more than the denarii.
Well, yeah, Bitcoin is like one for $568,000 or something.
So yeah,
Not $550,000, I think. I don't know
it's
where it's at right now. It
it's
went to
one
50,000 at one point.
it's $1 more than that. Then if that's
Okay.
like the highest, that's what a bing
Okay.
bong is. So
Anyway,
we were playing for high
so
stakes.
yeah, bing bongs, right? Like is one bing bong. I'm confused now. Is 100 bing bongs was our unit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay,
Yep.
so 100 bing bongs. We bet 100 bing bongs every time we were betting.
Yeah. So we could have said 1 unit. Yeah. No, I got
Yeah,
you.
so 100 bing bongs is 1 unit for us.
For us.
That's one
But
unit.
a
100
bing bong is a lot
is
of money.
fucking legit money.
Yep,
Legit
yep,
money.
yep.
Anyway, you're gonna be up at least 300 bing bongs, 3 units, 300 bing bongs by the end of the preseason if you go with my gambling strategy for the preseason.
Guaranteed.
Or I mean, it could be Cal's too. Like he kind of like brought it to light for me.
All right. Well, that is our NFL update there. And then for driving fast and turning left, what's on the schedule, Mike? Do you know what's on the schedule?
Who I don't know what's on the schedule. Actually, I should have gotten paperwork on what's on the schedule yesterday, and so I didn't, or maybe
So
2 days ago now. Now that it's midnight. But anyway, I'm not sure what's on the schedule. Martin Truex Jr. probably going to win it pretty easily. I don't see any other real outcome of a NASCAR race.
they are racing in Michigan. NASCAR Cup Series at Michigan. Michigan International Speedway. Yeah, that's definitely a track setup for MTJ to win.
Yeah. The bank on the corners is just as perfect angle for MTJ. That's the angle he really enjoys to win races at. So
yep. And he likes to turn left a couple times and then drive straight really fast a couple times. So
yeah.
this race is set up for him to do that very well.
Yep. Yeah, just very, very astute at the left turns. So
all right, Mike, do you want to do a brain drain today? Because I got a little bit of one.
So I've got one too, but just the things that, let me go first because mine could add into yours.
Mine's stupid as shit.
No, it might be able to add into it though because of what mine is. All right, so I've been listening to James Clear, maybe, who is the author of Atomic Habits. It essentially I've been doing a lot of like YouTube stuff that's like kind of self-help YouTube stuff, right? A lot of that, right? So if you've been tracking over the last few months, that's kind of more where my brain drains have been, is how do I get better at things?
And mine just like some stupid shit like why the Midwest is called the Midwest. But yes.
But I think that's relevant. That's like expanding our mind, draining it out, filling it up with new and exciting knowledge, right? Anyway, like he's got all these tricks for doing like making habits real. And I think that's kind of good. And I've seen a number of ones that I like. And he says the ultimate like hack is to like make reading a habit, because then you can change all your behaviors through reading, right? So let's say that you want to become healthier through eating the right things. If reading is your habit, then you can read about changing your behavior, right?
I agree with that. There's validity to that for sure.
I think that made a lot of sense when he said it, right? And then another thing is if you want to change a habit, like you want to, let's say his example, I think was like play the guitar more. If you want to like practice playing the guitar more, you should leave that shit right in the middle of your like living room or whatever, any place you're going to walk by it a bunch, because if you see it, you might do it. Another example that he had is that he always used to buy apples and he put them in the crisper and he never fucking eat an apple, right? Because he never saw them. So he'd never dig it out of the fridge. But if you have apples and you put them on your table, you're way more likely to eat them because they're right there in front of you. If you want to eat apples and you see them, you'll eat them.
Yeah. I mean, all the stuff always like makes sense, but it's like kind of stupid as well. So like not stupid. That's not
no, I got you.
But for like what I do is, like I was saying maybe 2 months ago now, that I was using this planner, right? And I bring this planner everywhere with me. I haven't opened it for about 3 weeks at this point, and now I carry it with me everywhere, like the guitar in the living room or something, and it just gives me anxiety when I see it now. But I need to reopen that shit back up.
Okay, so.
But if I read about it more, maybe that would help.
Read about your planner?
Yeah. Or about why planning is important.
No, so he says that you don't want to rely on motivation to like do things, right? So that would be a motivation piece. Like why planning is important would be a motivation, right? If you read about that every day.
Okay.
Right. So he gives like some examples I can't remember exactly what they are, right? Because I don't like fucking take notes and like write these things down and then go back and read them and like try to memorize them. But basically that if your system is to write in that, you have a set date and time and like when you're going to write it. Like,
I need to do that. Okay.
Like if you woke up and wrote in that every day, right, for whatever amount of time that would take, or like wherever you sit down to have your coffee, it sits on the table right there, and it's like already open to the date, and there's always a pen by it. You might actually get it, open it, and look at it and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've been there, but no, I like it. So like summing it up, it's like reading. Yes, I agree with that piece of it. If reading is your main hobby and you like to read about things you're interested in doing, you're probably going to learn more about it and you're going to be more capable of doing it.
Yeah.
And then I guess, yeah, if you leave something out in front of you, you're going to feel obligated to do it.
Yeah, I mean, so like you have, I listened to, this was the Andrew Huberman, when you talk about the anxiety around the book, right? He was talking about David Goggins. Have you heard of David Goggins?
Maybe.
So David
But I don't
Goggins
think
is
so,
this former Navy, he's this former Navy SEAL. Like, just like, he's the guy who essentially just loves being in the shit. Every time he feels like what's his, when people ask him, like, how do I get up off the couch and do shit? He says, quit being a little bitch, get off the fucking couch and go do whatever you want to do, right? Like, he doesn't have any sympathy for people who are like, I don't want to do it. Anyway, Huberman says he's in his lab, and he says, and they like look for people's phobias, and then they put them in like a virtual headset, right? What is that called? Virtual reality. They put them in that, where like, if you're afraid of sharks, you're gonna be swimming with sharks, right? That it's fairly immersive. Like, some people get scared, some people don't, but like, they're trying to get these fear-based results, right? And so Goggins says, well, I'm afraid of sharks, right? And then so Huberman goes, oh, who wants to try like the immersive headset first? And he goes, I do, right? So like these two things happen far apart. So they know he's afraid of sharks. So he doesn't like to deal with sharks. And then he's going to try it right away. And so what Huberman says is that he has tricked himself into, every time he feels anxiety about or being scared or like being caught in like a fight or flight moment, he is always in fight. Like, he always goes towards whatever anxiety he has, right? He's tricked something in his brain to just be like, oh, I feel this. Let's do it then. Like, if I'm worried about it, now it's time, it has to be done.
I like that a lot. I think my wife does that.
And like, I would imagine there's times in your life that you have been that person. It's just never consistent, right? And so I know that there's times in my life where I'm like, oh, this is making me nervous. I should fucking just lean into it, get it over with, right? And then I won't feel as scared or whatever about it. But there's also times in my life where I avoid that shit like the fucking plague.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe around your anxiety, when you see your book and it's like, oh my God, what am I doing with this fucking planner that I never fucking use? I haven't opened it. You should just have to open it. You should try to train your body to be like, all right, now if I felt that and I realized that I felt that, now I have to open it.
I like that. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm going to do it tomorrow.
You're going to do it tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep. Do you want to hear what
yes, I want to hear what your brain drain.
Yours has nothing to expand on it. I'm just
I thought maybe it was like in a habit mode where I could like talk about this habit then.
Yeah, we do not have telekinesis on the show when you hear what mine is. I'm calling bullshit on, and I don't even know if this would be a brain drain. I'm calling bullshit on the people who call soda or pop a Coke. I will respect you if you say pop or soda, but if you call soda is
give me a Sundrop Coke, please. Like that. Is that what they do?
If that's what they do, I respect it a little bit.
Give me a Coke, Sundrop flavored.
But no, now you're kind of ruining it for me.
Well, so like how do you order like a Mountain Dew or a Sundrop?
That's where I'm calling
bullshit. That it's a fucking Coke.
Yeah, like if you want a Mountain Dew or a Sundrop.
Or do they only drink Coke?
That's what I'm saying. The people who call soda Coke only drink Coke. That's the only explanation for it. There's no way you can go into a restaurant and call a soda, because even if you went into a restaurant and you were like, hey, I want a soda, they would say like, what type of soda? So I guess maybe that's what they do. Maybe I just brain drained myself. What type of Coke?
But so you're in the piece of the world that does this, right? This happens in Georgia.
It just doesn't fucking exist. That's what I'm saying. There's nobody that calls soda Coke.
All right, so this is what we need people to respond to us. If you call soda Coke, we get it. We're from the Midwest. We call it fucking pop. We call it soda, whatever, right? Those are the two common ones here. But if you call it Coke, we need to know.
Yep. Tweet at us, because we will tweet right back at you that you're full of shit, because that
you're big liar pants.
Yep. All right. But I think that will wrap it up for the show. As always, thank you for listening. We love you. Thank you for your support. We appreciate it. And Mike, take them to the beat.
All right. If you're doubting Martin, the Bucks, the Badgers, the Brewers, or the Packers, you can eat our shorts. Roll it.